There are 9 million people with cancer every year in the developing world. 90% of them die within a year in great pain. We could do an enormous amount to improve the quality of life of people. It would be a great failure on our part if we didn't find some way of passing this now, however.
This is the story of an adventure. Though not of professional adventurers and explorers, but ordinary people. And it's a story of compassion. The compassion of a group of ordinary people in one part of the world moved to do something about the plight of another group of ordinary people in another part of the world. The adventure is a journey through some of the wildest and most rugged areas of southern India. However, this journey is not from the usual comfort and safety of a four-wheel drive vehicle, but from the discomfort and danger of an 18-horsepower motorcycle. 1,000 kilometers of danger in 5 days. Over sinuous mountain passes, with no room for error, and through treacherous jungle tracks, along anarchic Indian roads and chaotic village centers. Because what characterizes motorcyclists above all else are two things: a spirit of adventure and a sense of the human spirit. That is why these riders, who in their normal lives are farmers, artists, businessmen, musicians, beauticians, mechanics, were prepared to sacrifice 1 week of their lives to improve the quality and length of others' lives by years. To bite the bullet of discomfort, so that others no longer have to grit their teeth against the never-ending barrage of pain.
Welcome to Kottayam. Along with a few friends, we're going to take you on the trip of a lifetime. And everyone will play a crucial role in the success of this tour. The most important thing to understand is that this is not a race. There is no competitive nature about what we are about to do, and nobody will be given any bonus or recognition for coming first or last.
Day 1, and after 50 hours of travelling and virtually zero sleep, it was time for most people's first ever experience of kickstarting a motorcycle. More to the point, this was something they'd have to get used to in the 80-degree Indian sun. And once they'd learned how to start a motorcycle, All they had to do then was ride it. Ride it in a foreign country, that is. With gears on the wrong side of the bike. And upside down. All things considered, it's amazing more riders didn't end up upside down.
Morning.
5 a.m. And now there was no turning back.
I'm at the back.
Not even for the nervous instigator, Seymour of Global Cancer.
Gladwin is going to be out in front. He's group leader. He's wearing a red baseball cap. And I'm going to be at the back, but I'll probably be combing up.
Combing up, team leader Susie might well have been sweeping up.
Yeah. Okay.
Some were understandably apprehensive,
Are you sure, Lara? Yeah.
while others
Safety in bottles.
could be said to be a little too bubbly.
Don't drink and drive on your own. Go with your friends, that's what I say.
Always wear a helmet. Cheers, guys.
Mind you, this was to prove the most valuable golden nectar in India, while this was to become an all too familiar sight. Finally, it was time to depart on the first and the longest day of the tour. 2 days of travel necessarily crammed into one as a result of the 28 hours of air delays getting to India in the first place. At this stage, with one of the film crew already hospitalised before it even got off the plane, we needed a little help from a member of the audience. And Cyrus, one of the riders, is press-ganged into wearing the camera while the crew's own cam carrier is still on the way up to the departure point.
Charlie, I'm still struggling sussing out what gear I'm in. Well, not so much what gear I'm in, but how to get in the gear I want to be in.
Cyrus had obviously never been introduced to the concept of irony.
There's quite a few dodgy riders in our group, so just watch out for them. Sound check, testing. At the moment it's reasonably cool on the road. Got a broken down bike.
And of course the reality of breakdown was never far away.
And here we have our tour guide and super mechanic. Are you happy?
No, it's not running properly. We ruined one bike, we're on number 2 now.
Mine's died a death now, whilst I was going along.
Don't rev the bike too much because it's brand new, yeah?
Right. I need you just to go slow for a while so I can feel it seizing again.
Not everyone was doing that badly, however.
travelling sort of 60 hours and we hadn't ridden a motorbike. Now we're actually out on the road driving. It's great.
Breaking down, been having quite a few problems, been missing, locking up the back wheel. It's been pretty tough. My partner, not sure where he is at the moment.
With the road opening up and the traffic thinning out, most people were beginning to get the hang of their little Enfields. But the main threat, though, was still those miscued changes. This one resulted in a gear lever falling off. And that's just about all the way through the box, the wrong way round. And with quite catastrophic consequences.
Lorry, car. Oh. Yeah.
Not to mention some quite incredible excuses.
Got knocked off by a lorry.
Lorry? Which way did that go?
There's too much off stop. Oh, that's lovely. I had no tetanus, no nothing.
No, you can have a tetanus after this.
Ah! Oh dear, that was a bad one. Just came round the bend up here and something was coming the other way. Wasn't really in my way at all, but I got caught in this kind of rim thing in the ditch here, and this thing's got no brakes at all, and once I was in it I couldn't get out of it, and as soon as I tried to come out of it the back wheel went away and it landed on top of me, and at first I thought, what a bonus, I don't feel hurt, and then alas, the stinging started.
By now, it was time for the alleged professionals to take back over the camera. Just as well, because this was through some of the most stunning scenery on the Tamil border. But however remote the area seems, an Indian procession is never far away. Nor, for that matter, is an Indian tea plantation. Once over the Tamil-Kerala border, the roads start to deteriorate. But the schools improve. Kerala actually boasts 90% literacy, and 4 up on a bike is one way of making sure they get there. Almost as incredible as the state's literacy rate is this indigenous version of a little chef. Probably the first food most of the party had had for about 20 hours. After lunch, the road followed up to one of the most beautiful views in the Kerala province and one of the most stunning of the whole trip. You don't get scenery like this anywhere else in the world. Finally, instead of snaking roads, the day ended with just plain snaking.
I think the first day went really well. Excellent. I didn't think we'd get here in the time we did, and I didn't think we'd get everybody here in one place in one day. Day 2, nightmare.
Day 3 dawned as early as day 2, around 5 to 6 a.m.
Let's give it a kick so you can warm it up, and then you can warm it up and it'll start easier.
Although it obviously hadn't quite dawned on some riders yet how to prime and decompress their bikes.
Don't worry, just your fuel. Your fuel is stopped.
My fuel is what?
Enfield, full free. The power, the performance, the beauty. It has it all.
The ride down from Cumberley was just as stunning as the ride up. Some, understandably, wanted to take it easy.
Look at that view. What a view. And fantastic views yesterday and beautiful views today. We've already lost Dab. There's 5 of us in our group. He's all got ahead already, speeding as he is. We've decided not to race each other today. We're going to stay together, drink lots of coconut and eat pineapples and mix with the locals, have some tea.
While others obviously took the view that the scenery is always more impressive when you're nearly impressing it. full bore on these roads leaves very little room for error. But some things, like the friendliness of the kids, is always worth slowing down for. Again, no place for wide boy riding on a road like this. You never know what's round the next corner. Tarmac, shingle, shale or stone. The more experienced riders, however, were still managing to have a blast.
Yeah, baby, that's right.
Like we said, the one thing you can be sure of on Indian roads is that you can never, ever be sure of anything. And it's not just stationary trucks that block the road. It actually seems to be something of an accepted national pastime to try and force smaller vehicles off the route.
Had a head-on smack. I did with another motorbike.
This guy really hit the jackpot. He managed to head on not with a truck or a bus, but another motorbike.
And the bike's really bad.
What was happening? You're coming?
No, we were coming on our side of the road, on the inside of the bend, and he was cutting the bend from his end. We just hit each other and we flew up in the air. He landed in the bushes and I landed over here. If we'd gone on the road, I would have been cut up. You know. But it's great. This guy's stitching my bag up, and we've had a cup of tea with the locals. So we're getting in touch with the local people.
Meanwhile, getting in touch with the local livestock is an ever-present hazard. Down in the town, the party got into full-on bartering mode.
300 rupees. 2 piece, 300.
Who's ours?
That will be ridiculous. 200 rupees.
No. 200. 50. 200 rupees.
100. 3.
Count. 100.
Actually, the whole of India is like one giant car boot sale.
Tiger, take.
No, thanks, mate.
You can get anything here.
Do this. Yeah, no, got it. Oh, in how? Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay.
Talking of free range, the towns are no less chaotic than the countryside. Having survived the town centre, our reward was the first opportunity to max the little Enfields out. That is, if you could call 100 kilometres an hour maxed out. But as ever, the roads can degenerate from tarmac to dust in an instant, and you've always got to be prepared for the totally unexpected.
More about my bike, actually. Nice one.
I slammed my head down on the... Slammed my head down on the ground, big time.
This thing's bent, whatever it's called.
Where's Lara gone?
Mind you, whatever else they are not, Enfields are nothing if not robust. By now, we were all ready for a little relaxation. Though the locals don't use the river for sunbathing, of course, but washing. Washing clothes, washing bikes, and of course washing themselves. Though this is actually one of the team leaders freshening up.